Hello, magandang araw. For our today's content, we will discuss the significant changes in our NIRC or National Internal Revenue Code due to the implementation of RA 11796 or otherwise known as Ease of Paying Taxes or EOPT Act. Okay, with yours truly, I am Jude Panelo, a certified public accountant, accredited public practitioner, and accredited professional tax agent and owner of Panelo Accounting Firm. So sa mga nagdaang linggo, busy-busy tayo sa mga changes sa BIR. For example, yung submission ng inventory list of unused OR to be used as invoice. Tapos busy-busy rin tayo simultaneously na mag-apply ng new ATP para makapag-print ng new sets of booklet under the invoice name. So bakit ba natin ginagawa ito? Yung mga ibang taxpayers nagsasabi, ano ba yan? Pinahihirapan naman tayong mga taxpayer, pabago-bago. But wait, para saan ba yung mga bagay na ito? Mga dear taxpayers, ito po yung paghahanda natin sa implementation ng RA 11796. Opo, dumadaan tayo at sa transition kung kaya't maraming mga disruptions ang nangyayari sa atin ngayon. But after nito, ano bang nag-aantay sa atin? So let us discuss one by one yung mga significant changes na nag-aantay sa atin at ano ang magiging benefits nito sa atin bilang mga taxpayer. Again, this is only based on my research and own interpretation of the law. And if ever you have noticed some errors, you are free to comment below. So let us start. So ito na yun, RA 11976 is of Paying Taxes, EOPT Act, effective January 22, 2024. So significant changes in NRISC. So nag-outline tayo dito ng mga significant changes. But before that, yung RA 11976 ay pwede mo siyang ma-download sa internet. So i-google mo lang itong EOPT, then pwede mo siyang i-download for your reference. Kung gusto mo magbasa-basa, okay lang to justify or to confirm the discussion here. So going back, in-outline natin ito based on this column, no? 4 columns. Legal basis, description, yung before EOPT, then after EOPT. So first, yung Section 21 ng NIRC. So dito, kasama rin dito yung mga revenue interpretation under RR8 2024, RR7 2024, saka yung RR6 2024. So meron na silang, ang BIR ay nag-release na ng mga revenue regulation para ma-interpret itong EOPT under Section 21 changes. No? So description sa Section 21 ng NIRC, classification of taxpayers. So before EOPT, dalawa lang classification, either large taxpayers or non-large taxpayers. Kapag sinabi nating large taxpayers, yung mga may gross sale of at least 3 billion. Okay? So kapag hindi ka ng full category dito ka sa non-large taxpayer. But after EOPT, it further classified into 4, no? Micro, small, medium, and large. So yung micro, ito yung mga gross sales less than 3 million. Okay? Kapag naman sinabing small, 3 million or equal or less than 20 million. Tapos yung mga medium, 20 million or equal to 20 million or less than 1 billion. Then kapag large naman, yung mga 1 billion of gross sales and above. So, importante ito later kung bakit nila classified. Now, under RR7 2024, yung description nito, business style appearing on invoice. Ano po ba yung business style appearing on invoice? Yung before EOPT, required po yan. Then after EOPT, not required. So ano ba itsuran po ng business style? Remember, yung mga OR nyo or invoices, meron yan nakalagay. Yan, hanapin natin. Ito. Yan. The example ng official strict na strike out, pinalta ng service invoice. Nakalagay dito, engage in the business style of. So ito, not required na after ng EOPT. Okay? So, under naman ang penalties and interest, nandito po yung mga legal basis, you can check it. You know? Penalties and interest. Ito maganda. Okay. So, ito yung one of the benefits ng EOPT. Kaya yung mga dyan taxpayer na ayaw ng pagbabago, teka, tignan natin ano ba yung mga changes nito. Ang talagang pinaka-objective nitong EOPT, pangalan pa lang, no, ease of paying taxes. So meron tayong malaking benefits na mula sa implementation nitong RA 1196. At isa nga ito. So yung penalties and interest. Dati, yung penalties, lahat applicable yan sa lahat ng taxpayer, regardless of classification, no? So regardless nito, pare-paras silang nag-undergo ng surcharge, na interest, saka yung mga compromise. So ito yung dati. Now, ito yung maganda. So penalties. Pero ito ay pertaining to the micro and small taxpayer. Kaya importante na classify, no? So itong micro and small, ito yung mas magkakaroon ng benefits dito sa RA 1196. Bakit? Yung micro and small taxpayers will be granted lower penalties. So from dati, 25%, so ngayon magiging 10% na lang yung surcharge. So yung 20% na interest, it will be now 6% interest rate. Okay. Yung penalty, ito yung submission ng information of returns or information returns. Ito yung mga, kunwari, inventory listing, yung summary ng list ng mga leases. Siguro yung SLS, SLP, kasama rin dito yung submission of information returns. So, ang penalty nito dati ay minimum of 1,000 to maximum of 25,000. Pero ngayon, para sa mga small, micro and small, ang penalty niyan 500 or 50% decrease, no? And maximum of 15,000. Okay. Yung compromise penalty naman, nakatable yan, depende doon sa violation. So usually from 1,000 to 25,000. Pero now, na-reduce na yan, no? 50%. So yung 1,000, baka 500 na lang. So anything pagtaas, 50%. So dito ay hindi pa naman, bagamat may RA 6/2024 na, yung mismong detail, no, regarding sa table ay wala pa naman. Pero kung mag-release sila para mas less confusion, mas okay. Pero ito yung pinaka-general rule. Okay? Then yung income tax return naman, dating 4 pages, magiging simplified income tax return na lang, 2 pages only. So ito yung mga inaantay pa natin pagbabago, no? Ngayong 2024. Okay, so wala pa namang detailed na discussion about dito or about sa revenue regulation regarding kung anong nilalaman itong 2 pages. So antay lang tayo muna dyan. So next is under section under section 22B or under regulation revenue regulation for 2024. Ito yung interpretation na from the EOPT na text ay naglabas sa BIR ng mga revenue regulation regarding that. So under dito, RR4 2024, yung venue of filing, ito isa na naman sa mga changes, no, dito sa ating EOPT. Dati, before EOPT, authorized agent bank within the jurisdiction of the RDO were located. So halimbawa, kung nasa RDO 057 ka sa Binyan, so lahat na nasasakupan noong RDO 057 from San Pedro, Binyan, Santa Rosa, Cabuyao, so lahat lang doon na authorized agent bank ay doon ka lang pwede magbayad or sa mismong RDO through revenue collection officer. Pero ngayon, no, any authorized agent bank, okay, and any RDO through revenue collection officer. So ito yung nag-aantay sa atin na magandang changes, no? Pwede kahit saan ka magbayad kung meron kang tax due, no? ng ating tax payment, okay, or remittance ng ating tax. So ngayon, in view of that, ang penalty dati kapag nag-file ka ng wrong venue, no, 25% of the basic tax due. So meron siyang penalty. Pero ngayon, na-remove na yan. Okay? Wala na. Since nga, kahit saan ka pwedeng magbayad ng ating ng tax payment. Okay, regarding this one, wala pa naman talagang specific, no, na paano magiging collection ngayon ng BIR. So, in terms of identification ng per region na collection, so I don't know kung paano maayos sa BIR ito. Pero syempre, kailangan natin sumunod sa batas at sila rin ay mag-a-adjust. Ang BIR din mag-a-adjust. So regarding sa detailed nito ay nag-aantay pa rin tayo papaano. Okay, ito pa rin yung pinaka-general. Okay, under RR 4 2024. So now, next is Section 34K. Ito, maganda rin to, no? Under RR 4 2024 din yung interpretation, pati RMC 60 2024. Ang description, requirement for deductibility of certain payments and expenses. Ito yung kalimitang problema sa mga taxpayer at ito yung isa rin sa mga problema ng mga tax agent in handling their clients, no? Upon audit, kapag wala sila nakita na withholding na nangyari upon payment to their regular supplier, disallow ng BIR yung expense na kaakibat noong dapat na withholdan. So remember, in computation of income tax, kapag itemized deduction, sales minus operating minus expenses equals net income. The net income is the basis for the income tax. Now, yung sinasabi nating withholding taxes upon payment to their regular suppliers, ito yung pinapasok nila sa expenses. Now, if ever na hindi sila nakapag-withheld, yung expenses na pinasok nila doon sa FS ay disallow and therefore lalaki yung magiging net income at lalaki din yung income tax base, no? So dati, expenses shall be allowed as deduction only to be deducted and withheld therefore therefrom has been paid to the BIR. Na withheld tapos na-remit yung withholding sa BIR. Pero ngayon, after EOPT, so na-repealed na to, no? Natanggal na yan. Okay, hindi na yan para basis, no, yung withholding ay basis ng disallowance ng mga expenses. Pero however, no, the obligation to withhold tax on certain payments and remit the same remains. So kailangan pa rin na syempre mag-withhold yung mga taxpayer, no, to their certain regular suppliers. So mag-apply pa rin yung rules natin dito. Ang nawala lang dito is hindi na yun magiging basis kapag halimbawa nalimutan mo mag-withhold o hindi ka napag-withhold ay magiging disallowance na no sa BIR. Pero yet, you will be penalized also if pero hindi na sa income tax matatamaan. Ang matatamaan na lang dyan is in terms of withholding, no? Those top withholding agent, TWA, or under TAM or taxpayers account monitoring program. Lahat ng ito, kapag ito ay member kanyan or under kanyan, all its regular suppliers. Ganun pa rin, no? Every time na bumibili ka sa mga regular suppliers mo, kailangan mo mag-withhold. Okay, 1%, 2%, or depende doon sa klase ng supplier. Then those not classified as a top withholding agent or under TAM, hindi naman sila required lahat, no? They are required only to the certain supplier. For example, yung nirerentahan nila, so 5% yan. Yung mga binabayad nila sa mga professionals, they are required to have withholding, no? Then etc. Marami pa to. At itong may discussion nito, medyo maraming discussion. But ito lang yung pinaka-highlight niya. Okay, next. Under Section 58 of NIRC or under the interpretation of the BIR Revenue Regulation for 2024, timing of withholding tax. Ito naman ay changes din. Okay, pinag-usapan natin kanina withholding. So ngayon, kailan ka ba mag-withhold ng taxes? Dati, income payment is paid or accrued in the payer's book, whichever comes first. So, kung upon payment ba Mag-withheld ka or upon accrual of certain expense. Okay. Yung accrual na sinasabi dito, yung goods are already delivered but not yet paid or services have been rendered but not yet paid. Whichever comes first. So ngayon, pinasimple na lang. Okay. At the time, the income has become payable. Okay. So, halimbawa, kailangan mo na magbayad ng ako no, ako ang ako yung income as a taxpayer, income ng taxpayer, mawi-withholdan yan when it has become payable. Okay. Kunwari, nag-issue ako ng bill no 30 days sa aking sa aking well, kunwari may nangungupahan sa akin. So ako ay nasa leasing industry. So nag-bill ako sa kanya. So kailangan ko bayaran katapusan. So ngayon ay May 27 pa lang. So sa May 31, kailangan niyang bayaran. No, kapag dumating ng May 31, kailangan niya ng bayaran. Sa books ni Payor, ah kailangan niya ng mag-withhold doon. So ibubok niya na yung withholding. Even though nasa kanya pa yung payment. Okay? When it becomes due and demandable, pwede na siya mag-withhold. Then upon payment, ayun yun, okay. Okay na siya. So kailangan ng payer na mag-issue ng 2307. Okay, may mga iba pang discussion dito. So that's it for now regarding sa timing of withholding. Section 108 or under the RR 7 2024. No, but base for sale of services. Okay. Ano ba ang basis kapag ikaw ay provider of services? Dati, upon yung gross receipts, no? Upon collected. Okay. So, ito yung basis ng BAT output mo. No? Pero ngayon ay since na mawawala na yung receipts na word, no? Gross receipts na as basis for the BAT, papalitan na yan ng gross sales. No? At kailan mo magkakaroon ng output, but output. So upon accrued or services has been already rendered. Okay? Dito upon collected, so cash basis ito, re-record mo lang ang output kapag nag-issue ka ng resibo, then upon collection, then nag-support ka ng OR. So yun dati. Pero ngayon, every time na nag-issue ka ng sales invoice, upon delivery or upon rendering already the services. So, kailangan mo na siyang i-record yung BAT output dyan. So, dito naman upon collected, ito naman upon approved. Cash basis, accrual basis na kayo. Wala na itong cash basis. Okay. Section 1110 under RR3 2024. Output BAT on uncollected receivables. O ito naman, since na may connection dito sa 108, sabi natin dito kanina, ang BAT output ay recognize na natin upon accrual. So therefore, ibig sabihin hindi pa nababayaran yan. Na-render na yung service pero hindi pa siya nababayaran. Paano ngayon? Sa mga output na na-declare natin, so parang lugi naman tayo kasi nagbayad. Hindi naman tayo lugi actually kasi sa BIR naman yung payment na yan, yung 12%. So nilimit na natin yung 12%. No? Pero ang problema, hindi pa natin nakokolekta yung ating invoice. Nag-remit na tayo ng bag doon. So ano mangyayari? Dati walang provision yan. Pero ngayon, maliwanag. Yung mga uncollected receivables, no, may deduct the output amount on uncollected receivables on the next quarter after the lapse of the agreed period to pay. Okay, ito muna. For example, nag-invoice tayo ngayon ng sale of, kunwari lang, sale of office supplies. Nagbebenta tayo ng office supplies. So ngayon, date ay May 27. May agreement tayo ng ating customer na binigyan natin ng terms, for example, 5 days lang. Okay, 5 days. Net of 5 days. So ngayon ay May 27. So magpa-plus ako ng 5 days dito. Sa June 1 ang due. Halimbawa, regardless na kunwari working days or whatever, so ano lang yan, 5 days na kunwari. Now, noong May 27, nag-issue na tayo ng SI. Okay. Then, i-report natin ito, kasama to magiging report doon sa second quarter kasi quarterly na yung bat. Kung may ito, mapapasok yan sa second quarter. Gawin na natin 30 days na lang para maganda. So sa June 26 pa ang deadline, ang June. So since nag-issue na tayo na yung May 27, kailangan natin pumasok yan. So ang entry niyan is account receivable debit, no, of certain amount. Then credit is the sale, net of BAT, then BAT output, kung ano man yun. So pagpalagay natin para mas maganda. So mangyayari AR, debit AR, kunwari is 112,000. So then therefore debit of sales, so 100,000. That is the net of BAT. Then we have the BAT output of 12,000. Okay, 12% of the sales or net of BAT. So ito yung entry natin noong May 27. Now pagdating noong June 26, June na. Okay. Tapos hindi nagbayad. Naging kinabukasan uli, wala pa rin bayad. Kinabukasan uli, walang bayad. So parang tumagal. So no second quarter, na-report mo na yan. Yung based on sale, then yung BAT output, na-report mo na second quarter. Okay. So na-report mo na siya, pero hindi po pa rin nakolekta hanggang June 26. So for example, on the third quarter, which is July, August, September, so October ito, October ang payment. Ang nangyari, hindi pa rin siya bayad. Okay. So, kung halimbawa, hindi pa rin siya bayad. Pero June 26, ito na yung June. No? Sa June 27, pwede mo na siyang, ang tawag dito, yung uncollected receivable, pwede na siyang, kumbaga, i-reverse. Okay, pwede ka mag-issue ng credit memo, no? Para mawala itong BAT output na to, ma-reverse tong 12,000 na BAT output. So on June 27, after lapse of the certain agreed term, no, to pay, uncollected pa rin siya. So mangyayaring entry ngayon dito is if allowance method, no, sakasakali allowance method. So mangyayari ay yung BAT output i-reverse natin as a credit na para mabawasan yung ating, para may minus yung na-report natin itong second quarter na halagang 12,000. Okay, so mangyayari dyan, ang entry nito is if allowance, no, method. So ang mangyayari, yung kung halimbawa bad debt expense, okay, then debit yan, then allowance for bad debts, credit. So bad debt expense is the net of BAT. Okay. So ito ay the 100,000 debit. Then wala na pala pang credit. Dito na lang. Yan. Lagyan natin. So ito ay BAT output. Since nung nakaraan ay na-credit natin yan, so ibabalik natin 12,000. Then allowance is 112,000. So allowance for bad debts. Okay. So yung budget expense, 100,000 net. Okay. Ito ay allowable deduction doon sa income tax provided na documented yung kung bakit mo sinabing bad debts siya, no? So ang magiging proof mo diyan yung issuance of your credit memo to the customer. So dapat ngayon yung ating system is meron siyang parang provision of the credit memo para ma-document yung uncollected na receivables, no? Okay, so importante yan. So yung mga ibang system ngayon, nag-a-adjust para ma-adapt yung EOPT law. Kaya yung transition, maraming mga binabago doon sa mga existing na mga computer software, computerized accounting software. So ngayon, ano epekto nito? So ngayon, yung bat output na to, yung dati mong dineclare, syempre, parang inabonohan mo yan eh. Hindi mo pa nga nakokolekta yan. So, kailangan mo na ibalik. Sorry, kailangan ko siyang i-credit dahil inabonohan ko lang yan at hindi naman talaga nakapagbayad. Hindi pa nagbabayad sa agreed date si aking customer. Kung kaya, on the third quarter, kung inabot ng third quarter, no? Kasi kailangan mo itong i-report yung uncollected receivables on the next quarter. Ito yan, on the next quarter, after the lapse of the agreed period. So, the third quarter, kailangan mo na i-report, okay. Provided the seller, to be provision of the seller fully paid the VAT for the transaction. Halimbawa, talagang second quarter, pinasok mo talaga itong VAT output na to, pinabunuhan mo na, okay, dapat nabunuhan mo. Pero kapag hindi mo nagawa yan, hindi mo pwedeng gawin to reverse. At maging tax credit, VAT output credit yung 12,000. So, yung provision niya. So, ngayon, the third quarter, report mo na to ngayon as a tax credit or VAT credit doon sa dati mong dineclare. Okay, ano pang susunod? In case of recovery of uncollectible receivables, what shall be remitted during the period of recovery? Ito naman, halimbawa, okay, sige, ano na natin yan, dineclare na natin bad debt expense itong receivable na to dahil lampas na doon sa agreed term. Pero eventually, nagbayad, no? Halimbawa, ang third quarter, kasi ang reporting na third quarter is July to September, then sa October 25 pa to, no? Ang June ng third quarter. So, mangyayari, kung halimbawa, inabot ng reporting mo, before ka mag-report na October 25, inabot, ibig sabihin nagbayad. So, mawawala bali to, no? Kung halimbawa na-entryhan mo na to, mag-entry ka uli, no? Pato reversal of the allowance of bad debts. So, entryhan mo lang siya, may nag-credit na 12,000, then nagkaroon uli ng debit na 12,000. So, para ano lang siya, no? Para ma-cancel out. Okay, yung ating reversal ng VAT output. Okay. So, actually, automatic to sa mga accounting software. If ever, yung sa aming ginagamit, yung tax base, di-develop ng aming accounting firm. So, yung tax base, automatic na itong some of the new changes in our accounting software, automatically na itong na-entryhan doon sa books ng client if ever nag-use ng tax base. Okay, so sa tingin ko okay na itong explanation natin. So next is Section 113. Under RR3 2024 saka RR7 2024. But invoicing requirements. Okay. Ano ba dati? Siyempre, ito yun. No? Kaya nagdara-dara pa tayo ng pag-stamp at pagpapasa ng inventory list of unused OR to be used as invoice. Ito kasi yung batas na to. No? Dati, ang sale of services, ang primary document niya, yung official receipt. And now, at yung sale of goods pala, ang primary documents naman yan ay sales invoice. So ngayon, after EOPT, so lahat na, either sale of services or goods, sales invoice na or simply invoice na yung primary document. Okay? Then yung business style, of the appearing on the face of the invoice, na-discuss na natin to. Hindi na siya required and then not required. Okay. So, further, sa Section 116, RR3 2024, saka RR7 2024, in terms sa mga non-VAT naman, saka sa mga other percentage tax, yung basis for percentage tax. So, yung sale of services, dati OR, then sale of goods, sales invoice. So, ngayon, pati rin yung mga non-VAT din, ganun din na maapektuhan yung mga sale of services mo rin at pati yung goods, lahat na ay nasa sales invoice. Then yung OR, magiging primary, dating primary document yan, magiging secondary document na lang. So purely yung primary document natin ay yung sales invoice. Under Section 1110, substantiation and timing of input VAT naman. Kanina output na pinag-usapan natin. Ngayon yung input VAT. So ito yung mga purchases, no? Dati, ito yung substantiation, ibig sabihin, yung ina-attach nating support to claim the VAT input. Usually, ito yung OR saka SI. Kapag OR services, upon payment yan, no? Cash basis. Kapag yung mga goods naman, ay yung SI or accrual basis naman. Okay? So, after EOPT, wala na. Yung OR, purchases of goods and services, lahat yan ay accrual na rin, then supported by sales invoice. Okay? Actually, yung OR, hindi siya mawawala. Pwede pa rin gamitin yan. Pero may certain rules lang tayo unless provided na stamp at nakapag-submit tayo ng inventory listing. Magagamit pa natin ito until December 31 of 2024. Then after that, ay magiging secondary na lang itong OR. So pwede mo pa rin gamitin pero hindi na primary, kundi secondary. Ang magiging primary natin, again, yung sales invoice na. Section 109 or RR3 2024, mababasa mo rin dyan. In terms of VAT registration, no, dati, gross annual sales and or receipts, we should not exceed the amount of 3 million except from VAT. Pero ngayon, yung threshold na 3 million, dati kasi fixed yan. Ngayon, no, may possibility na mabago na itong threshold na 3 million. It will be adjusted to its present value using the Consumer Price Index as published by the PSA every 3 years. So, therefore, may possibility, o syempre, mangyayari may changes na dito sa threshold na. Either tumaas or lumiit. So, transitory clauses. Taxpayers are given 6 months from the effectivity of the vetting rules and regulation of implementing revenue regulation to comply with the amendments of the VAT and OPT. So, meron tayong deadline ito, no? For the full implementation of the EOPT. So, nandiyan naman. So, ano pa ba yung mga changes, no, na nabago dito sa RA 11, nabago sa NIRC because of the RA 11-1976? Yung Section 235. Okay. Under the implementing revenue regulation, no, ng 7/2024, preservation of books of account and other accounting records, both by taxpayer and CPA holders. Dati po ay 10 years, ngayon ay 5 years na. So, under naman sa Section 236B or under the RMC 14/2024, yung annual registration, ito yung una nangyari. No? Yung 500 pesos dati, kailangan taon-taon magbabayad ka before January 31. And it will be subjected to penalty if it is late paid. Now, ngayon, after EOPT, ito naman, wala na itong 500 pesos na. Okay? Renewal. No? Pero kapag sa unang registration mo, magbabayad ka ng 500. Pero yung renewal niyan, taon-taon, mawawala na. Okay, Section 237. Under RR7 2084, in terms of issuance of invoice, ito, maganda rin ito. You need to issue before EOPT ng SI 100 pesos if the transaction is 100 pesos and above. Okay. Pero after EOPT, 500 pesos na and above, kailangan ng SI. Ngayon, if the transaction is below 500, the seller will issue one invoice for the aggregate sales amount at the end of the day if the aggregate sales is at least 500 pesos. So, pwede mo na siya pagsama-sama. So, ano pang other changes nitong RA 11976? So, eto, digitalization of BIR services. So, in terms of digitalization, kailangan mag-provide ng BIR na digitalization services. At ito, syempre, medyo matagal dahil subject to sa budget pa, ma-approve yung budget nila, then saka sila makapagawa ng system na kung saan makapag-adapt na dito sa EOPT. So, antay lang tayo dito. Tapos yung under RR3, 2024, in terms sa mga changes sa tax refunds and remedies, yung mga dates nito, ay pakibasa na lang po itong RR3 2024. At hindi ko na po ito i-discuss in further details. Alright, so kung tutusin, marami po na changes in favor of the taxpayers. So instead na we're looking forward, uh, instead na magalit tayo dahil marami pagbabago, uh, why not we take this one, kumbaga, talagang magiging benefits para sa atin sa mga susunod na mga araw. Okay? So, yung yung act, no, is of paying taxes, talagang sa tingin namin ay magiging easy na lang talaga yung ating pagbabayad at magiging less pa yung mga penalties just in case uh, masasubject ka sa penalty. Kaya nga tayo nag-aaral ng mga ganitong mga batas is para maiwasan natin yung penalty kahit pa paano. Okay? Pero kapag hindi talaga naiwasan, at least limit naman ay mga penalty. So, to sum up, ito po yung mga changes natin. Okay? And in my opinion, talaga napakaganda at talagang magiging ease yung paying natin ng mga taxes. Okay, thank you very much po.